Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. Here's a live look at the view from our camera on top of Deaconess Gateway Hospital. There's the intersection of I-69 and the Lloyd. You can see lots of blue sky and sunshine out there with just a few very small fair weather clouds kind of dotting the sky right now. It's going to be clear, cool, and calm through the night tonight. This weekend, sunny and a little warmer. As we get into the second half of next week, we may see a few clouds and potentially a cool down, but in general, the entire next week looks fairly quiet. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got the Facebook video pulled up here so that I can see if anybody has any comments or questions. I don't think we'll have much because this forecast is pretty straightforward, but sometimes that's a good thing, right? We've had a lot of rain this week, and now we're getting back into that quieter weather pattern. We did have a few clouds kind of bubble up in the heat of the day around noon today, and as I just showed you on the camera, there are still a few of these fair weather clouds just kind of barely dotting the skies out there, but it's mainly sunny across the tri-state, and that's going to be the trend through the next several days. Temperatures sitting in the upper 70s to low 80s right now. It's 80 degrees even in Evansville and Owensboro. We may tack on another degree or two this afternoon, but once the sun sets, we quickly start to cool off, and sunsets just after 6:30. So right around the time those football games will be kicking off tonight, things will be quickly cooling down. We'll be sitting in the low to mid 70s at kickoff, and then we'll drop back into the mid 60s by the time those games are over. So it's going to be very warm as you're first arriving, but it will cool off as the games go on. By the end of the night, we'll eventually bottom out in the mid 50s, clear and cool and calm, very similar to the weather we had last night into this morning. Then tomorrow, a lot like today, full of sunshine, maybe just a degree or two warmer though, with highs in the low to maybe mid 80s in some locations. Our normal highs for this time of year are in the upper 70s, so we are going to be running a little warmer than average, with highs then climbing into the mid to maybe even upper 80s Sunday and Monday of this next week. And then we cool things off just a bit as we get into the second half of the week, with highs dipping back into the upper 70s to low 80s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a lot of that has to do with what we're tracking in the tropics. In the extended outlook, though, it seems like any cool down we get at the end of next week may not last very long. The extended outlook from Saturday, October 4th up through October 10th still shows a trend toward above average temperatures across the tri-state and below average precipitation. So this warm, dry weather pattern hanging around once again. We're not outlooked for any kind of hazardous weather in that extended outlook, but you'll notice down to the southeast, they're outlooked for both high winds and heavy rain along the southeast coast. And again, that circles back around to what we're tracking in the tropics right now. We do have one storm that is not yet named. You can kind of see the clouds from it there. It has not strengthened into a tropical storm, but it has a 90% chance of becoming a named cyclone. So it would most likely become Imelda. That's the next name on the list, but it hasn't formed into that storm just yet. There's a 90% chance, but that also means there's a 10% chance that it won't. Then we've got Umberto. Was a tropical storm. It's now strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane with 90-mile-an-hour winds, and it's expected to strengthen rapidly over the next 24 hours. By Saturday night, it's expected to become a Category 4 hurricane and then remain a Cat 4 through Monday morning. Then as it starts to turn to the north, that storm expected to weaken back out, and it will likely curve on off to the northeast there and not make any kind of direct landfall in the United States. This storm that doesn't have a name may be a different story. Now, it'll likely be weaker. It's not even a tropical storm yet, but it's currently forecast, this is a look at the model tracks here, to come sort of right up around the Bahamas, and then come up and hit the U.S. somewhere right around South Carolina. Now, depending on the size of that storm and how far inland it makes it, it is possible that here in the tri-state we could see some clouds or maybe even a stray shower from the very outer edges of that tropical system starting late Tuesday and continuing through the second half of next week. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. It is possible we could at least get some clouds and some cooler temperatures maybe even a stray shower. But again, it would be from the very far outer edges of that system. There's a good chance that we're all going to stay dry, and the rain will most likely stay to the southeast coast, primarily focused over the Carolinas. But that is something we'll be keeping a close eye on for you, as the tropics could have at least a very minimal impact on us here in the tri-state as we get into next week. With that, I'm going to wrap up your forecast, but don't go anywhere. Jamie French will be right back with some of your latest news headlines.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices. Live from 14 News, this is a 14 Digital News Desk update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French. Just a couple of quick headlines that we are following today. We want to start you off with sort of a new addition to a long-standing nonprofit organization. Foster children and their families can now find help and hope at a new resource center in Vanderburgh County. Today, the Isaiah 117 Project opened its first Evansville location with a ribbon-cutting celebration. The Princeton-based nonprofit provides support to children in foster care and the adults that are fostering them. Through one-on-one services, the project connects fostering families with resources in the community. They also help foster children heal from trauma. Now, officials say this new space is designed to be a warm and calming environment. It is located at the Flanders Complex at 8114 Birch Park Drive. Our Barbara Bellinger was there for that ribbon cutting, so she is going to have a whole lot more for you tonight on 14 News. Now, we have something coming up this weekend that is very special to us and many of our longstanding viewers here at 14 News. A very special event is set for this weekend in Warwick County. It is a big tribute to a beloved tri-state meteorologist. Of course, we are talking about the one and only Marcia Yaki. On Sunday, the Newburgh Museum is hosting the Tribute to the Yak, honoring, of course, local legend and former 14 News weatherwoman Marcia Yaki. Organizers say that you will get to hear from several familiar faces at the event, including Mike Blake, David James, and our chief meteorologist Jeff Lyons. Marcia, of course, was best known as the pioneer in broadcasting here at 14 News from 1953 to 1988. This tribute will start at 1 at Preservation Hall there in the Newburgh Museum. It is free to attend, but you can guarantee your seat for $10. A link to purchase those tickets is over on 14news.com. Now, if you join us in just about 2 hours or so, about an hour and a half on 14 News at 4, you will actually get to see a very cool piece put together by our own Jeff Lyons, sort of looking back on Marcia's life and legacy. It is a very cool story, of course, honoring her, so you'll want to make sure you check that out on 14 News at 4, and of course we'll have a little preview of that again at 6, all looking ahead to that event on Sunday. All right, that will wrap things up. Of course, we have a lot more to cover. Our shows are stacked today, so you can join us again for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and then later tonight at 10. We've also got lots of football coverage today. All right, thanks for